Hello and welcome to HRL Season 14. Now we're on round number 5. It's going to be Targaryen. Some of you may recognize this track from some of the elimination tournaments, some of the races in there. It is the same track, only adjustment that I'm aware of is getting rid of the Joker lane because we don't really need it. Don't really need it for this current go-kart stage. Not running the Jokers in this one. So, starting order for this one. Remember, doubleheader, we did no heats for this one, so if you're wondering why, oh, we were just getting into the motos here, we are, because of the doubleheader, no heat races, and we're just starting it like a Moto 1, as if the overall finish from the last race is like the heat race, basically, so it'll be based off that overall order, if that makes sense, from that Lake Michigan overall. So, starting in first, on your left is Pancake, second, Detail on the right. Third, Luke. Fourth, Fireball. Fifth, Hunter. Sixth, Sully. Seventh, Roman. Eighth, Slaunch. Ninth, Soul Reaper. 10th, Real Deal. 11th, Opix. 12th, Nuked. 13th, Armada. And 14th, Killer. Making it in for Targaryen. So we wait for the lights to go down. There we go out. And again, that starting order is a little bit of a reminder as we go green. If you don't remember the overall from Lake Michigan, that's a little reminder for you. As we kick off the race, and already in the lead, Pancake goes down all the way, not quite to last, but pretty far down the pack. Just looked like the rear tire getting caught on the wall just a little too close to the side. Very, very close, but just a little too close. And that is unfortunate. You just lose that advantage from starting up front right away. And especially on this track, it's going to be really tough to make up all those spots in this Moto 1. It's going to be really difficult. Definitely could shake up the way this night plays out quite a bit. Oh, man, look at this. Yeah. So this is the section on this track. This neg camber is brutal. Easily the most treacherous one on, I mean, probably just any track in general. But I want to say for sure, just in this season of like any track type, it might be the most treacherous section of literally any track in our current season, where we have freaking like almost like 40 tracks. So that should definitely tell you something that. I think that ranks pretty highly as far as the dangerous sections go. And again, might be at the top. Might be at the top. In my opinion. But as we close this lap out, it looks like with all that cheese, it's going to be Detail in the lead, Luke second, Fireball third. Fourth will be Sully, fifth, Roman. Pancake already back up to sixth. Killer, seventh. Hunter, eighth. I think that was Real Deal in ninth, and Nuked in 10th, so running out the top 10 there. Get a little look at the running order. At least our top 10. A little battle here between Armada and Opix. See how this goes through the chicane. Very careful through that one. I gotta watch this too wide. See how careful the drivers are with taking the... Oh, man. Tough break for Armada there. Find any other close positional... I guess Roman and Real... Something happened to Roman here? Oh, yeah. Look at that. Roman messed it up. Pancake ended up getting into the back of him. Killer messes it up. That third lap down, a lot of drivers make a mistake through the neck camber there. But we'll stay on board with Roman here for a second. So, for this race, should have mentioned it at the beginning. For our motos here at Targaryen, 14 laps. 14 laps. So that's what we're looking at here. So 14 lap motos. And again, 2 motos, no heat races because of the doubleheader. Pretty brutal track. Mistakes get punished really hard. Again, any go-kart that has the walls placed around the entire track, that's always the first thing that I think of is just like punishing. Like any mistake that you make, especially obviously on this type of section, but just in general, any type of mistake that you make on a go-kart like this is just going to be amplified with all the walls around the track. Really makes you feel it. Really makes you feel it. Whereas on the open tracks, that's not always the case. Sometimes it can be worse because sometimes the walls can like save you from like a gnarly flip or something like that. Whereas on an open track, the walls wouldn't catch you and you just like keep barrel rolling. So sometimes it can be a good thing. It looks like Opix. Wow, Opix Armada and Nuked having issues. Rough. Pancake's still in 5th. I think Sully's 4th. So I believe that's what is going on there. Still Detail first, Luke second. Fairly close at the moment. Definitely still within range of being able to battle potentially. It's like Armada just having a rough one towards the back. Here's some rough crashes early on, and still, yeah, just trying to get that neg camber dialed in, and that's probably what he's just going to focus on for the rest of this moto is just try to figure it out. Because he's already so far back in this one, you might as well just try to figure it out, experiment a little bit. You know, not worry about your position too much, and just try to figure out how to run it so you can maybe regain a bit in the next moto. Nuke running behind Opix here. It's almost a little bit of a pack, but they're separated by a bit with a few of these drivers here. That's Armada behind him, so it gives a little bit of an idea of where everyone's at. Looks like Detail that lap stretched the gap a little bit. Strong run so far. Had a good Moto 1 at Lake Michigan. Trying to replicate that here at Targaryen. Trying to get a strong start to this one as well. I love that shot, by the way. I didn't even realize that, but you get a really nice look right there. You don't really notice it when you're racing because of the way that section works out, but when you're spectating, you get a pretty nice look at the neg camber there if the leaders are so far in front, so that's pretty cool. You get a look at how the riders that are, I guess, ahead. I mean, it could be ahead if you're back in the pack, or if you're like coming close to lap, it could be behind, whatever. How they're getting through that section. But again, you don't really see it when you're racing because of the way it works out. Definitely a spectator thing, but still pretty cool. Yeah, Roman really slowing up and setting up for it, and it works out that time. He's going to get past Real Deal there as we hit the halfway point of this race. So clean pass from Roman through that neg camber. Again, that is where the magic happens on this track. That is where most of the passes happen. Most of the mistakes happen. It is arguably the track. Now you can definitely make up time and definitely make moves elsewhere. Like you can, it's difficult, but the oval turn you could potentially make some moves. That hairpin back there you could potentially make some moves. But the #1 passing zone, the #1 mistake zone, and everybody knows it, is that neg camber, and that's why I bring it up so much, because it really is the main attraction here, and it is such a large part of how your performance is going to go for this race, is how well you run that, section. How many times do you mess up through that section? Oh, at the same time, though, again, these tracks with the walls, they're punishing. And look at that. Roman just going a little too far inside. Going to mess up and give that spot back to Real Deal. And again, it's not always the neg camber. Sometimes it's the easy parts. It's easy to just let it slip, have a little lapse in judgment, and then just like that, you hit the wall, you lose a spot. It's just this entire track, and really any of the go-kart tracks with the entire wall bordering. Just super punishing. That's always how they are. And that's what makes these so difficult to race, so difficult to win, so difficult to do well at. Definitely a true test of mental strength and endurance. Especially this track being the second race of a doubleheader from these drivers. I'd argue that for all the walled off go-karts, Eagle River, this one, and Jon Snow, all very difficult tracks to win at. And do well at. Even getting a podium's pretty good achievement on these. Because some stuff you don't have control over, but it doesn't matter. You know, you can't focus on that. You just still need to try to do the best that you can with what you got and try to get the best result possible. It looks like Real Deal potentially catching up to Sully a bit. Looks like Pancake got by him at some point, so that would put him in 4th, I want to say. Sully's in 5th then, so this is potentially like the top 5 battle here. Oh, man. Real Deal trying to set it up behind him, but doesn't work. Ends up getting into him, I think, on the entry, and that costs him a ton of time. Look at that. Look at how much time he lost there. He might spend the rest of these laps trying to catch back up to him, if he even does catch back up to him, and then he'd have like probably just one more opportunity to pass. So potentially a good opportunity for Real Deal there to get into that top 5. Maybe lost, but still a few more laps to go, and it looks like he's actually pretty quick through the first sector, so maybe he can get it back. Opix still running behind Killer. Like 3 or 4 goose lengths between them. It seems like they've been running like this for a while now. Pancake creeping through the Ned Camber in 4th, and there you can get an idea of the gap. And that was actually from 4th to 3rd, and that was actually Nuked getting lapped there. So Nuked has been lapped by the top 3 now. So lap traffic coming into play here at Targaryen. Oh, man, looks like Roman. I wonder if he made another mistake because we saw a Real Deal mess up, and yet Roman's, like, way behind him. So, yeah, Sully here. Real Deal has actually caught the gap pretty quickly, and I think definitely going to go for... Oh, Sully shuts the door. I don't know if he was expecting that. That's going to cost Real Deal a little bit of time, but still there. But bumps into him again. Does not go wide that time, though. Well done. So Real Deal keeping that battle alive. As we're at the 2 laps to go, and things could get interesting here. The lead gap looking pretty good. Like, I don't know, 6 or 7 gooses or so. But Armada has a mistake through the chicane. The blue flag. Oh, no! And Armada rejoining, trying to keep it clean. Ah, tough. As we go to the white flag lap, let's look at a quick replay of it, though. Unfortunate. So the blue flag coming up with Armada, and Detail tries to set up the apex, and it almost works, but he ends up just not being able to get those tires to the ground. Armada thought he had it, so he was already committed to it because he thought he was going to land it and keep going, but that's not what happens. So what ends up happening is Armada ends up booping him out of the way a little bit, and that opens up the door for Luke, who's been creeping behind in 2nd the entire race. Does hit the apex quite well there to take the lead on going on to the last lap. Unfortunate. Potentially here at the end for Detail, but he's got time, and Luke does bottle up the first chicane a little bit, so that's going to cost him some time, so potentially still a chance here for Detail to retake the lead, but he's only got this lap to do it. And there's only so many opportunities. He's going to go for 1 here through the hairpin, not able to make it happen there. And realistically, there's going to be 1 more opportunity to go for it here. Let's see what he does. How aggressive is he going to play it? Through the chicane. He's got to run. He's got the speed. Oh, little contact on the inside. And Luke just going hard for the protection on the inside, just not trying to give up that line, and it works out. It's going to take the Moto. Detail a frustrated 2nd. Unfortunate ending to that one. Fireball on his own in 3rd the entire race. Gets another podium. Pancake recovering for 4th. And wow, look at this top 5. And who is it going to be? Because remember, it was a battle. It looks like Sully does hold onto it. So our results for rest of the first moto in Targaryen, 6th, yes, it was Real Deal. 7th, Roman. 8th was Solange. 9th, Hunter. 10th, Soul Reaper. 11th, Killer. 12th, Opix. 13th, Armada. 14th, Nuked. Yeah, that'll be the end of our first moto, and What a crazy one at that. I mean, just lap cheese and the mistake from Pancake in the beginning. You know, this moto could have went very differently for the top three battle, but Pancake getting a little too wide on the first turn, and then the confusing, really unfortunate, tough blue flag situation. You never want to make the blue flag happen through the neg camber, but sometimes it's where it just has to happen, and it's just a tough spot to make it work. So crazy first moto, action packed, and I think the second moto is going to be even better, splitting up the field in this one and sending everybody to the back. I think the second moto is going to be crazy, so definitely don't miss that one, and we'll move on to it.